Operation Digital Pioneer Mission 7. The big one. The last mission of the entire operation. This is where it all comes together right here. My mission is to make my students pioneers, digital marketing pioneers in their own industries on a global scale. That means whatever you sell, I want you to be the best digital marketing manager for your industry, for the products or services that you represent for your company in the world. I want you to be pushing techniques that nobody in your industry has yet even heard of. And I want you to be the master of those techniques. That's my goal. It's my mission. And I can do that. I've done it before and I'll do it again. I have had hundreds of students and all of them have much better careers now than they did before. Most of them are marketing directors, digital marketing managers, directors, VP of marketing. Some are CEOs, some are CMOs. Some have launched their own agencies because I teach them everything that I know. And my colleagues at Search Titans also teach them everything that they know. And that gives them so much experience right from the get-go. You have multiple mentors with decades of experience between them. And they're all learning the same digital marketing techniques from different people. It's different marketing techniques from different professionals in different languages, in different countries. We have Search Titans in the UK, in Australia, South Africa, France, all over Europe, all over the United States, Canada, some in St. Lucia, Brazil, Japan, Thailand, everywhere. We have Search Titans located all over the world. And they help when they're needed the most. I do the main presentation. I guide the students through all of the 7 missions, but then I will send my colleagues to teach the students as and when their particular sets of specialties come in. But in Mission 7, we all come together. We all come together as a group and we talk to our students as if they are peers in the industry, because they are. When you have over 21 months of experience working in digital marketing for the company that you're working for, and you've been putting into play all of our digital marketing strategies, finally, now the students will be able to talk to their mentors, to us, to the coaches and the trainers as equals. Because they will have as much information about their companies and their digital marketing campaigns as we do. We don't know anything new. We only know what the student has managed to accomplish over 21 months using all of the training that we've given them. So now we talk face to face. Now we talk about SEO Keyword Domination. What does that mean? Well, as I showed you in a previous video, we have the ability to dominate the entire page 1 of Google for one company. I have positions 1 and 2 for one of my primary keywords, e-commerce audit course. That's great. These people don't have the 5-star reviews. They don't have anything that looks pretty. All right, finally we have one really, really low down, and it has nothing to do with e-commerce. It has nothing to do with, I don't even know what that is. I don't even know if it's in English. But at least he has those 5 stars, or 4 stars, whatever. The point I'm making is that it's possible to dominate your keyword on SEO. When you click on images, are your images the only ones on top? Mine are. That's mine. That's mine. Okay, that's not mine. That's mine. So 3 out of 4 ain't bad. But that's domination of my keyword for Google Images. Let's talk about videos. Once again, domination of page 1 of Google for videos. So it's not just all searches. I have 1 and 2, sure. But now look at this. I dominate all of the video aspect. You see? And the images and the text. And it doesn't stop. I don't have maps because I don't have local businesses. But if I had local businesses, I would also dominate the first 3 positions on Google Maps for local search. I don't have news. I'm not a news provider, but I have had clients that do news, and they also dominate page 1. And there's more. There's also jobs, e-commerce audit jobs, for example. Well, I don't offer jobs, so I can't dominate this, but you can dominate the job market like Glassdoor does, Indeed does, and others, and they dominate it through, wait a second, they dominate it through structured data. Wait a second, manager jobs, there we go. And this is what I'm referring to when I say domination of page one. See, Glassdoor, Indeed. These guys dominate the job market, but they only do that because nobody else is competing against them. Anyway, the point I'm making is that's one of the things that we need to talk about. Now that you have perfect SEO, I would like to see you have 100% click-through rate. That's not possible. But trying is possible. So get as close to that click-through rate as you can. Try to get 100% market share from your SEO. From your search engine marketing, it's the same thing. You can have multiple listings, you can have multiple websites, you can have microsites, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. With SEM, you can have a global market share. You can even have the global market for your product and your industry if you play your cards right. Just make it every single language, translate your website into every language, translate your videos into every language, and focus on the next 5 years, focus on global domination of digital marketing presence in every language, in every country that is profitable to your business. And that's the final thing that we're really teaching in Mission 7. It's about how to structure your digital marketing strategy per country. There's a lot of very quick ways to do that. And we teach you how to do it by using Excel sheets. Google Translate will help you get started, but then you need translators to fine-tune the content that you produce for those countries. In some countries, translations don't work at all. You need something called transliterations. Transliteration is where you listen to what I'm saying, but you don't translate it. You think about it, and then you say it in your own words so that it makes sense in your language, in your culture, to the person that you're talking to. And that's transliteration. That's more like customization. It's more like translation, customization. It's transliteration. And that's an important factor, especially in Asian countries such as China, Thailand, Taiwan, and Japan, and Korea. These countries really do require transliteration because direct translations don't often work. Well, that's the tip of the iceberg. But how do you do that without being overwhelmed? And we teach you how to do that using structured approach to a global digital marketing campaign. But now that you know, now that our students know how to do everything in digital marketing, this part, this extremely advanced digital marketing technique, a global presence, becomes a lot less daunting when you know exactly what you're doing already. But the cool thing is, now that you know how to do it once, you don't have to do everything all over again. We teach you how to skip certain steps because they're exactly the same in certain areas throughout all of the languages. For example, the infrastructure of your website, the navigation, is not going to change from one country to the next. The translations will, the words will, and the images should. You should change the images on your different corporate websites so that people know that they're looking at a Japanese website. They're looking at Japanese images. Let me give you an example. On mine, right here, we have Search Titans Japan. And as you can see, even my images are written in Japanese. It's the same image, nothing changes really. I used Photoshop to automate my image processing system, and I have over 12 languages just like that for the same exact images and labels that I had in English. It's not nearly as difficult as you might imagine. It doesn't cost anything at all to do it right. And you can ask your web designer who has Photoshop to automate this process relatively quickly. And it's one of the things that we teach you how to do so that you don't have to go and reinvent the wheel. So we teach you how to automate image processing, video processing, all of that to translate very, very quickly. And then once all of that is done, you get the translators to come in and edit the different texts so that it makes sense. But what you'll discover is that Google Translate gets you about 96% of the way there, and then it's about 4% editing on the outside. It's not, sometimes you don't need to edit at all. It's rare, but usually you need a little bit of editing. Anyway, it can go a lot faster when you just have to read a page, make some quick edits, rather than have to write the whole thing from scratch. Using Google Translate is not a question of, oh, this is cheaper, let's do that. It's not about saving money. It's about saving time, which is worth a lot more than money. Because the longer you wait to have a global digital marketing strategy, it's going to take exponentially longer for you to get your profit margins. By that time, everyone loses interest, everyone's gone, and you just lost an entire global market. You can't afford to wait too long. So get started with Google Translate, automate everything, make it mediocre in quality, and then edit it. Get it edited by local, not just any translator, somebody who learned Japanese in college. No. It has to be a local transliterator who looks at your content, edits it, and then modifies it so that it's really, really good, if it has to be modified at all. Once you've done that, now you have high quality content, and everybody appreciates it enormously. Right. This is just one of the basic lessons that we'll be teaching in Mission 7, but all of these techniques are extremely advanced. You cannot start reproducing bad quality content that you produce in Mission 1 or Mission 2 or Mission 3. By that time, you still don't have any idea of what works and what doesn't work. By the time you get to Mission 6, you barely know what's going on. Now that you're in Mission 7, you've had 6 months of media buying and planning to get it right. That's at least 3 separate optimization rounds. Now you're in Mission 7, you know what works. You know what works in whatever language you're speaking. Now it's time to go global. And that's what I want you to duplicate in other languages. It's what I want you to edit in other languages. I want you to make videos with local actors, and I want your videos that you've been producing up until now, I want them reproduced by local actors in the local language, in the local place, and that's going to get you a lot more conversions locally. A lot more. It can get you 10 times higher conversions than anything that you do in your own language, because there's less competition in that language, and that's just a huge benefit. And in some cases, you can make over 100 times more revenue from the Chinese or Japanese market because nobody is selling what you're selling there, and especially not in their own language. And that can help you get the first market mover advantage, which everybody craves when they're doing well, but nobody can afford to do when they're first starting out. So this is where Mission 7 comes in. It's about gaining those unbelievable nuggets of opportunity that you just can't do until you're ready to take advantage of them. Then we have the 100% conversion rate optimization campaign. It's not possible to get 100% conversion rate, but it is possible to try. And that's what you want to do. It's important that every customer gets spoken to individually, one by one, customization style. As long as they're profitable, as long as that is profitable to do, it's important that you find a way to customize your campaigns on a one-by-one basis. That way, you can expand your market and you can increase your conversion rate to a very, very high level. The highest conversion rate I've ever had has been 32% from my digital marketing to a converted sale. That's the highest I've ever gotten. But I'm not going to stop trying to get 100%. And I have techniques to try, but it's a little bit more advanced. Amazon can achieve 100% conversion rate because they have a one-click button, and everybody loves Amazon. So if you look for a product on Amazon and you find it, there's pretty much a 100% chance that you're going to buy it as long as you're already a customer. So that is possible to get 100%, but it takes years of practice, sometimes decades of practice before you can get to the point where 100% of your customers will buy something within a 1-year period. But it's possible to get there. And that's what Mission 7 is all about. Now that you know everything about your conversion rates over the last 7 missions we've been talking about it, now let's talk about getting 100%. Now let's talk about fine-tuning the conversion rate funnel. Let's talk about your customer service. And that's what Mission 7 is all about. It's about launching you into the next 5 years of your career, to making sure that you continue to strive for perfection, even though you know you'll never get there. Because it's not important to get there, it's important to try. We'll be talking about A/B testing ads and landing pages on a massive scale. Now what that means is, now that you know what's working, you know what your great conversion rates, you have great click-through rates, great impression share, now you need to really dig into multivariate testing. And what does that mean? Multivariate testing is when you change one button on the page to 17 different colors. Well, how are you going to do that? Just the button's going to change, and then it's going to change based on new users. So every time a new user comes in, there's a different color that comes in, and then it repeats, and then it repeats until each color has had 100 customers focalized on each color of the button 17 different times. And now we look at all the colors because we had 1,700 different people see the different colors. And now we get to decide which one has the highest click-through rate, the highest bounce rate, the highest time on site, the highest conversion rate, the highest click-through rate, whatever the case we're looking for. That's what we focus on. And when we realize that pink is the new orange, yay, now we're really getting somewhere. Now we stick to orange and we test something else. Let's try the background advertising to see if that works. Let's try 6 different background advertising campaigns to see which of the backgrounds has the most click-through rate. Because we know how many impressions we're getting. We're getting 6 billion impressions for that media campaign. But now let's test out 6 different versions of the background image. Like, for example, the ones that we were looking at before, the green, the Addy one, or wherever it is. It's in here somewhere. This is Le Figaro for media buying. Here it is. So this particular background image, this background banner advertising is, in my opinion, awful. It's just terrible color. Green? Ugh. And that girl she looks like she's a drug addict or something. I'm not really sure what exactly we're supposed to discover from this banner. Let's say I don't like it and you love it. Okay, we have no choice. We have to try both. Now, we're going to try a different actress and a different color for me. And we're going to keep this as the control subject. And then we're going to try other colors and other actors and other actors, different call to actions. We could try thousands and thousands and thousands of different versions of this. Software that I'll introduce you to, media buying and tracking software, A/B testing software, will tell you which of the banners is most successful on which platform, on which page, according to which demographic. Maybe older demographics likes green and younger likes pink. I don't know. I'm making this up, but I'm making this part up. But it's A/B testing that's going to get us the answers to those questions, and it's going to improve our conversion rates. Now, if a particular version has a lower conversion rate than our standard, we cut that one loose. We don't even try. We don't even continue with that one. We only focus on the ones that have a higher conversion rate than the control subject, and that gives us incremental improvements in our media campaigns. But you can only do that after you've already tested your media campaigns. You can't do A/B testing on a test campaign. What? On a test campaign, you have to use established, successful advertising, because you already know that you're going to succeed with those campaigns. That's what risk assessment's all about in Mission 6. Mission 7 is no longer about risk assessment. We already know that we have 5 or 6 different media campaigns that are working really well for us. Now we do A/B testing to improve the performance of those campaigns that we already know works on a large scale. And we test landing pages to increase conversion rates, and so on and so on and so forth. A/B testing and multivariate testing software will automate the entire process for you, but you have to learn how to create new calls to actions, new colors, new all of this, correctly install the software, and it will change the very fabric of your daily habits. Every day you're going to be looking at the differences in banners. The ones that don't perform well quickly, we can remove quickly. The ones that perform adequately, we leave alone. And the ones that are performing very well, we keep an eye on those. We take a really close look at the ones that are performing better than the control. Why is that working better? Is it because it's pink? Or is it because it says free lunch? Yeah, it's probably the free lunch thing. Either way, that's what multivariate testing is. And this is a very advanced technique. You can't start testing stuff from the very first day that you launch. You're already testing campaigns, you're testing media platforms, you're testing demographics, you're testing times, you're testing all of these things. You can't start testing the graphics as well. It's just not going to do good for you. It's going to waste your time, and it's going to give you false positives. What's a false positive? Something can work really well by accident, and you'll never know whether it was the creative or whether it was the platform. Suddenly you try the platform again on the same creative and it's not working anymore, and you don't know why. It's because you're testing too many different things at the same time. And that's what Mission 7 is all about. Learning when to test things, learning when to take risks, because you could take a $5 million risk. You could lose $5 million on a media campaign and not even sweat it out. The board of directors would be like, whoa, let's not do that one again, but I'm really happy with the rest of it. What? You're okay with me losing $5 million? Sure, why not? Because when you spend $50 million and you end up making $300 million or $350 million in return on investment, losing $5 million from that $50 million budget, it's not even noticed. They don't even consider it a loss. They consider it just a normal part of the global marketing campaign. That's what you do, that's what they do. As long as you've learned the lesson and you don't lose that $5 million again next year, you're 100% the best media buyer in the world to your company. That's what I want. That's what your board of directors wants. That's what you want. That's how you're going to get a raise. That's how you're going to get a bonus. That's how your company is going to make hundreds of millions of dollars without losing too much money. I'm going to teach you how to lose money in the right way, which is to say, inside of a globally successful digital marketing campaign. But you can't learn that until Mission 7. That's an extremely advanced technique. If you said to your board of directors, hey, I'm going to lose $5 million, you're going to be walking out in handcuffs with your hands tied behind your back because nobody loses $5 million without a clear explanation. That being said, when you're spending $50 million and you show the board of directors that you've already made them $350 million, announcing to them that you had a loss of $5 million on the original budget, it's not going to make them blink. They're going to be really happy about it because they know you're not going to make that same mistake next year. They know that next year you're going to spend $45 million clean, really well, and you're going to retest the $5 million on something else that's going to lead them to even more money. It might not lead them the next year or even the year after, but eventually they're either going to stop spending that $5 million or they're gonna put that $5 million back into the successful campaigns only, which will get them $360 million in revenue the following year instead of just 350. And instead of losing $5 million, they make an extra 10 or something like that. That's what we do together, and that's how we focus. All of our efforts on Mission 7 is focused on scaling the business, scaling the marketing campaigns, profitability, revenue, without too many risks. We're going to be talking about 100% product and service calls to action. How can you get 100% of your visitors to respond yes? Well, there are different ways of doing that. It's not super easy, and it's not usually possible, but it is possible to try, once again. And we're going to be talking about the maximum call to action. David Deutsch, I would like you to buy my product. How does he know my name? Well, that's possible. Now that you have 21 months of collecting data through retargeting, you have their emails, you have their phone numbers, you have their names, you have their permission to market to them, GDPR. You have to have their permission. But over the course of 21 months, you're going to be collecting hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of visitors that give you permission to market them for whatever reason. Because we're going to be going through all of that, through all the different missions. I'm going to teach you how to get them to the point where they volunteer to receive advertising from you. And then it's a question of really enticing them with calls to action that will get you 100% conversion rate. Or at least as close to 100% as you can get. Right. Now we get to talk about real KPI targeting, and we target well way beyond success. What is success? A return on investment. What's beyond successful? Preparing to close a customer that you already have 5 years in advance is what I call preparing KPIs for beyond success. For any company that does B2B, for example, you can improve the profitability of your clients, just like I do. You see, I'm preparing right now, I'm preparing you, my customer, my potential customer, or my actual student, I'm preparing you to come back to me for consultations, for global media strategic partnerships. A strategic partnerships with MSN, with Microsoft, could easily flow into the $150 million range on a global scale, probably even to billions of dollars on a global scale. Nobody can handle a campaign like that with me unless they've graduated from all 7 missions. And then we have Operation Global Digital Marketing. But only certificate holders, only graduates of Search Titans can even work with me and my other colleagues on what we call global strategic partnerships, which are worth hundreds of millions of dollars. We have partnerships with a video production company that requires a minimum of $250,000 just to do the video marketing strategy for your company. None of these conversations can be had until the students graduate from Operation Digital Pioneer, because they won't be able to understand the conversation at all. Even in Mission 7, we haven't yet gone global. We haven't translated any of the content yet. We don't have a presence in all of those places. That's where we start talking about advanced KPI targeting. Let's talk about Japan. What's our market share? What's our market in Japan? What's our potential market share in Japan? How much revenue can we make there compared to what we make here? That's what we talk about in advanced KPI targeting. Your board of directors will then need to make a decision. Do we agree to his crazy plan of going global domination, or do we stick to our national campaigns? Either way, you prepare in advance and you make the case for very large campaigns, and you continue to do so for the next 5 years to come. And we'll teach you in Mission 7 how to prepare KPIs for the next 5 years. For campaigns, they're just too crazy to consider at the moment. And that's how we teach KPI targeting beyond success. Finally, we talk about power. What's power? What's power? Power is influence. Projections multiplied by innovation equals influence. Daily habits and information multiplied by influence equals power. And that is the final lesson that we have to teach in the whole Operation Digital Pioneer. The final lesson is this: you have to learn how to establish influence within your company. You can influence your CEO and your board of directors like that to do whatever you tell them to do. Not because it's a good idea, but because you can prove that it's going to be successful. That is influence. You see, you take your projections on how much money you're going to make based on what you know already. You multiply it by innovation, say video creativity, super amazing campaigns, super creative stuff. That gives you influence. Now you have the attention of everyone. Now you have the attention of your board of directors, because the board of directors will say to you, so you're going to do this amazing creative thing and you're going to make that much money off of it? That's influence. I accept. Go. Do your thing. So now you have the influence to buy huge media campaigns, to negotiate deals for 5 to 10 years with other digital media platforms such as CNN, Microsoft, Skype, you name it. No, not Skype, but Microsoft, AOL, if they still exist. AOL is a pretty good company though. Not as good as they used to be. Anyway, finally you have your daily habits. Now, every day you learn more, you research more, you look more into global campaigns. Suddenly you're talking to massive media publishers and they want your money, which means you have power over them. You can get anything you want. And that power is given to you by the influence that is given to you by your board of directors, by your CEO. Now you can wield that power to scale the business on a global scale, and you can completely dominate the digital marketing space for your industry because of your buying power, which is second to none. There is no better way to succeed in digital marketing than by having the power to negotiate and successfully win media campaigns on a global scale. That's how you make the big bucks. That's how you make billions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars, and that's how you win. So, once again, Operation Digital Pioneer, Mission 7 is graduation day. That's where we come in. We teach you how to establish your marketing campaigns for the next 5 years to come. And we prepare you to have conversations with us again on Operation Global Digital Marketing. In Operation Global, that's where we take graduates and we help them with their media buying strategies all over the world, because that is pretty time consuming. We're already placed all over the world, and we'll be introducing our graduates to media owners such as Le Figaro in France, The Telegraph in the UK, Myanmar Times in Myanmar, and so on and so forth. And we'll be introducing you to these amazingly large companies, and with your buying power, you'll be able to establish huge market dominance on a global scale for your digital marketing strategy. Right, that's it. Now, the next step is for you to sign up, right? Let's do mission 1 already. Sign up to the program and let's get you certified as a digital pioneer. Once you finish mission 7, you'll be certified, you'll have a nice diploma. You'll also have a full profile on Search Titans. You'll have reviews from every single mentor in Search Titans. You'll have reviews from your own company colleagues. You'll have recommendations on LinkedIn. You're going to look like a rock star by the time you graduate, because that's what we do. Every single social media platform that you have a page on, Search Titans, your colleagues, inside your company's colleagues, your friends, and Search Titans, and the peers, your students of Search Titans, will all focalize on helping you and your reputation, your personal reputation, online, to make sure that when anybody ever searches your name, you're just all over Google with positive reviews, positive everything, videos from us, everything. And that's what happens when you graduate. You will be a global digital marketing director for all intents and purposes. Even if you don't have the title, the job title, you will have the certification, Global Digital Marketing Director certification. That's mission 7. And it's a party, a huge, huge get drunk off your ass party at the end of it. Or in the middle, like right towards the end of it. All right, looking forward to training and to working with you soon.